Hello again, everybody. I'm Koren, a DevRel at Auki Labs. In this video, we will create a basic shared AR experience. We will spawn a cube into a session to be viewed in its accurate position instantly by multiple participants. If you don't have an app key and app secret, please make sure you watch our setup tutorial first. We begin with an empty scene. Delete all elements from your hierarchy. Now, let's bring in basic AR foundation assets. Create an AR session origin in your hierarchy and add AR Image Track Manager component on it. In the project column, create a new reference image library, add at least one image and set its dimension, and drag it to the serialized library field. Edit max number of moving objects from 0 to 1, and create a new AR session element. Great! Now let's install ConjureKit module, our core module for networking with Auki. It's under My Registries in the Package Manager. And create a C# script. We will call it ConjureKit Manager. You can call it whatever you want. Open the script and import ConjureKit. Create a private iConjureKit and a public camera. Attach our script to an empty game object in the scene and drag the camera into the AR camera field. To initialize ConjureKit, we use the configuration.get statement where we pass our camera transform and the app key and app secret we received on registration.
The ConjureKit initialization was changed in version 0.6 and can now be executed offline as well as online. To adapt to this change, remove the configuration.get statement from the startup method.
To connect to the nearest Hoggle server around us, we simply enter ConjureKit.connect. ConjureKit provides many different callback functions to respond to messages in a session. The onStateChange callback will fire and return the state of a connection. We can track 4 connection types: connecting, when searching for a connection; join session, when we can start networking; calibrated, when we can start rendering assets in the same environment, meaning in the same coordinate system; and disconnected, when session was disconnected. The onJoined callback will fire when our user is joined and calibrated. It will return session data, including session ID and more. The onLeft callback will fire when our user left the session. So let's add 2 text elements to log this info on screen. One for session state and one for session ID. We populate our session state text in the onStateChange callback and the session ID inside the onJoined callback. In the onLeft callback, we simply reset our session ID info. Now let's return to the editor and create 2 UI text elements, one for session state and one for session ID, and drag them to the text fields inside our ConjureKit Manager. If we now hit play, we can review our connection state, and once the connection is calibrated, the session ID as well. To create entities and spawn cloned versions of them in the correct position on other participants' devices, we create 2 methods, one for creating the entity itself, and one for only instantiating the cube based on an existing entity position and rotation. Let's create these methods together to make it clearer. In method 1, create cube entity, we first make sure our state is calibrated, declare a position based on our camera and half meter in front of it, declare a rotation, again based on our camera rotation, and a pose class to pass a position and rotation together. And finally, let's call for the ConjureKit method addEntity. We pass in the entity pose, and once the entity was added, we fire the second method, createCube, to instantiate our cube.
In ConjureKit version 0.6, we introduced a new ECS architecture. The entities are now handled through the session class. To adapt to this change, replace ConjureKit.entity with ConjureKit.getSession.addEntity.
Inside the createCube method, first make sure our entity is not a participant entity, then instantiate our cube prefab based on the entity position and rotation.
In ConjureKit version 0.6, we first get the entity position through the session, and then we add the instantiate method.
Now let's add variables for our cube prefab and for the spawn button. We want this button to be enabled only if our session state is calibrated. So let's create a public toggle control state method where we enable our button based on the state and fire this method inside ConjureKit onStateChange callback. Go back to the editor, create a 3D cube, scale it down to 10 centimeters, turn it into a prefab, and drag it to the cube field inside our ConjureKit manager. Now create the spawn button, assign it with the createCubeEntity method, and drag it to its field in the ConjureKit manager. Now let's see it in action. Notice that only when our session state is calibrated, our button is enabled, and when we click it, the cube is spawned. Mana module makes it easy to join a session and get instantly calibrated into a shared coordinate system by scanning a lighthouse that holds the address to our session ID. So go back to the package manager and the My Registries, install the Mana module. Return to ConjureKit Manager and import Mana. Create a private Mana variable, add a boolean and a button to turn our lighthouse on and off, and initialize Mana on our start function. Enable our button based on the session state, and create a toggle lighthouse method. To toggle our lighthouse on and off, we simply use the method mana.setLighthouseVisible.
Mana 0.6 introduces a breaking change with a new in-house scanning method that is independent of any specific SDK. To adapt to this change, you need to manually choose how to feed Mana with video frames. An example of how to do it in conjunction with AR Foundation can be found in our docs and in the Mana demo sample.
Now return to the editor, create our QR button, assign it with the toggle lighthouse method we just created, and drag it to its field in the ConjureKit manager. If we hit play now, our buttons will be enabled only when the session is calibrated, and we can toggle our lighthouse on and off. So we can now create and invite other participants to a session, and we can spawn a cube as an entity. The only thing that is missing is a representation of each entity on all participants' devices. For this, we will use the onEntityAdded callback that tells all other participants when an entity was added to a session. When this happens, we can fire our createCube method to simply instantiate the cube based on the added entity position and rotation. And that's it. If you haven't done so already, switch to iOS platform and build the app onto devices. We created a simple example just to get you started and can't wait to see what you can invent on top of it. So keep us updated on our social channels, and if you have any questions, we are very happy to assist. Bye for now.